What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So someone had suggested in the video I made the other day about some of the worst statues I've bought, and I do want to add a few to that. And they wanted me to make one about statues I regret selling. Now, first off, we do need to add 2 statues to that list. I completely spaced out. I was like, oh my goodness. And they're both from the same company. I'm not a fan of the company. It's called Art Department. I gave them some feedback on the statues, and they just, basically just blocked me and talked trash on me. Basically, it's this Wolverine. Oh my gosh, there's my old cat. That thing, and this was the prototype, may I bear in mind, it was absolutely garbage. I hated this thing. The moment I opened it, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Alrighty, yeah, I can't, I sold those like 5 years ago, so it's been so long. Now, I do know Art Department has improved drastically since those. Like, I've seen some of his newer life-size busts he's made. They're definitely substantially better. But those 2 old ones were garbage. Oh my gosh, I gotta show you the worst statue ever. Ugh, I can't even find it. It was before I even did YouTube. But I think I may have shown pictures back in the day. It was the Vegeta 1/4 custom statue by some Filipino studio. I can't remember the name. It was the worst DBZ statue I ever got. One of the worst. Anyways, let's get to statues I regret selling. Now, here's the thing about selling a statue that you may potentially regret, per se. So, I sold these statues purely due to 2 reasons. 2 reasons only. Money and space. Because, eventually, I used to collect a lot of 1/6 scale, and I still like this scale, but due to space and needing money to fund, different statues, I had to get out of the 1/6 line. The only ones I technically still have are my 2 Zelda PVC ones and the Marvel, which I couldn't sell anyways. But there are some 1/6 that I still wish I had, and let me show you. So I also did not do YouTube back then. Goodness. Let me just find a photo of this. So this is definitely one that comes to mind. The Azog on Warg by Weta. So I owned this, and I got it signed by Manu Bennett, who played the voice and character of Azog the Defiler. But this was an amazing statue. It was quite big for a 1/6. Dynamic, super cool, super legit. I did sell it because I was offered a lot of money for it. Basically double what I paid. Funny thing is, I sold it on eBay to someone internationally. I gave it to eBay. They went through their whole international shipper program, and eBay lost it. So they had to refund the buyer. And I still got my money, of course, but eBay lost it. Look at the going price for it, $3,800. Goodness, who's going to pay that? It is a really cool statue, and I still wish I owned this because I do like it quite a bit. And in general, I'd love to still have all my Weta Lord of the Rings statues. If money and space wasn't the issue, I would still own this, my other Azog, Bolg, Thorn Oakenshield, the Smog, and the 3 busts. I would still own them. I did not sell them due to me not liking them. I sold due to scale, needing money, and space. Which is kind of the thing for all these statues, and the only reason I've sold them. But this is definitely one that comes to mind, one I definitely still wish I had. Alrighty, next one. Look at that, 7 years ago. Is honestly going to be these 2 right here. The Berserker bust and mask. Now, I sold the 1/5 as well, and I sold them all locally to someone. But, I love the Berserker bust. Now, I sold it for 2 reasons. this bust is a little bit outdated. Like the eyes were just decals and they didn't look like glass eyes even remotely, where like the Cool Props Wolf does. And the mouth had zero vein work. Those were my two biggest gripes with this piece, was the eye paint app and the inner mouth paint app had zero veins. And I like seeing veins on my Predators. So, but this piece was super big, and I loved the design of the Berserker Predator. This was probably the biggest bust I've ever owned, honestly. You know, like, this is bigger than the Raptor bust, who's one of my bigger ones, and of course the Infinity bust, which have arms. But if we're not counting arms, then this was the biggest. But I bought this for, like, I can't even remember the price. Like, it was cheap. And the thing is, this bus actually still goes pretty cheap. And I think the reason is, like, I see it selling for like $700. But it's because it's so freaking big. It is huge. You know, and then of course I got the mask to go with it, which I liked back when I did unboxings on my kitchen table. But I still really like this bust. I really do. And I would love to pair that with that. You know, like, I would love a garage shelf of those two next to each other with the mask, you know, wall mounted in between. I think that would be awesome. I could even imagine it right there. You know, like, let's say we lowered those two, brought him up, and then did the bust right there. That would be sick. And then change that mask out to the wolf or Berserker mask. You know, I'd love to do that for all three of my Predators. You know, do it for Jungle Hunter, do a custom Jungle Hunter bust with the mask, Berserker bust and mask, and then I already have Wolf bust and mask. You know, but so I have obviously considered buying Berserker Predator again, thinking, you know, I'd love to just buy that again. But the problem is that everyone that's selling it doesn't have a box, local pickup only, and they're like living in like freaking Florida or Ohio. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to drive that. And I kind of missed my opportunity when my local buddy was selling his. He didn't really contact me to tell me he was selling it. He just sold it to someone without telling me. And I was like, are you kidding me? I would have bought that. But I would love to get it, but I'd also love to get it like repainted. But that is something I definitely still wish I owned to this day. Now, the other things I will say, it's like a group of statues I've sold. I still wish I did own these. But in general, my entire DBZ 1/6 line, I still wish I owned them. I loved those. It's just space and money was a concern. Trying to, you know, get away from 1/6. But, you know, like I said, if I had unlimited space and money, I would never would have sold those. Even like my old Tsume 1/6, I definitely would have kept all those. And I would say the exact same thing for Mortal Kombat. The OG Classic line, as well as the MK9 line. If, you know, money and space was not a concern, I definitely would never have sold those. And I even still would have kept my Psycho 1/6 line, you know, if money and space was not an issue. So, I mean, here's the thing about selling a statue. You can almost always buy it back. If it's a licensed piece, you can buy it back. If it's unlicensed and super rare, then it will be much more difficult. Like if I sold, for example, my blue box Pennywise bust, which I will never do, that would be so incredibly difficult to buy again, just because it's limited to 30 worldwide. So, you know, it's like I never see that go for sale, even like the Nun, you know, so there's definitely pieces out there that are way hard to get, but I could, in reality, buy back every single statue I've ever regretted selling. Like if I became a multimillionaire, won the lottery or whatever, I'd probably just buy back every single statue I've mentioned in this video. But I would say like those are the three big categories of statues I kind of regret selling. I don't necessarily regret selling all my Marvel comic. That just wasn't my cup of tea. You know, and I've obviously sold a lot of my older Sideshow movie pieces. You know, pretty much got rid of every one of them. Don't really regret it. I still wish I had my Jack Sparrow bust. I still wish I had Queen Wolverine bust, just not a freaking damaged one. Definitely, you know, still wish I had that. And yeah, that's pretty much kind of it, though. But like I said, yeah, I could technically buy back any of these if I ever truly wanted to. And I have bought back statues before. If you remember, I bought back Sideshow Hellboy, Sideshow Avatar statues. You know, I sold them, bought them back, sold them again. And I don't have any plans to buy them now. You know, it's like I can't go back to those old Sideshow movie pieces. They just don't do it for me like they used to. You know, with the caliber of statues nowadays, it's hard to truly appreciate those. Because you look at them, you just notice how bad the sculpt and paint is. Now, that's why I'm much more inclined to like Prime 1, Queen, Infinity, silicone busts. I don't need like silicone 1/4 and 1/3. I'm still very happy with like these. And I think I will always be. You know, for busts, the biggest deal breaker for me is glass eyes. If something doesn't have glass eyes nowadays, I won't buy it. That to me is a deal breaker. Anyways, folks, that is it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think, any regrets you have, or anything you think I should have never sold. And I will see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.